Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Glitters of Life podcast. Glitters of Life podcast is a place where we bring out the episodes which will inspire you, educate you, and entertain you as well. I'm your host Rohit Kokane, and in today's episode we have a very special guest with us. She is Meghana Kulkarni, a former badminton player, I would say, a podcast host as well, an author as well, and the mindset mentor. So, Meghana, welcome on the show, and I'm really happy to host you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
It is my pleasure. So, Meghna, how has been life for you?
Life has been phenomenal. That would be my answer because anyone who asks me the question, like, how's life? I would be like, it's phenomenal, especially with the last 2 years, the transition that I've gone through. I would just say it's phenomenal. I couldn't have asked for anything more.
Such an enthusiastic way to define that particular, because then I am always curious to know about the life of people and how they are reacting to it. So it brings out the quality of thoughts, it brings out the emotions and the kind of strength people need. So you have been into the professional circuit with respect to badminton. You have played on the like national, states, international as well. So what was the kind of journey you had, and what were the learnings that you took from that particular journey?
Well, I think this goes back to when I was 9 years old. I
Yeah.
started playing when I was, 8 or 9 years old, and there was no plan of me competing or, becoming a professional player. So I remember one fine day, we used to get those boost rackets, if you remember, like you
Yeah.
purchase boost and then you get those two rackets, right? So that's how my journey started in my lawn. I used to play in the garden. And then I realized one day while I was playing with my sibling that I'm so terrible in badminton. I'm so bad. And then my elder brother used to always piss me off by saying that you're so bad at it. Like you don't even know how to connect. And I think I was just like, what, 6 or 7 years old.
Okay.
And immediately after that, I remember me challenging my brother saying that one day I'm going to defeat you in this sport. You just wait and watch. It was just a childish behavior. But then 1 year later, summer camp, I remember going up to my mom and saying that I want to enroll myself into badminton. I just want to play the sport. I don't know what is there for me, but I just want to go there and play. So I guess that's how the journey started. Every day you go, attend the school. After the school, you go, you play, you come back, do your homework, and that's all my life had been for at least first 2 years. And then when I was under 10, that has been my first competition. I started competing when I was 9 or 10 years old, like immediately after 1 year of
Yeah.
practice. So that's where the journey started of me becoming a pro athlete. There was no focus of focusing on maybe nationals or international, but just go with the flow. And since I come from a non-sporting background, it was very difficult to convince that, oh, you want to go at a professional level. So we just went with the flow, and one thing led to another. So in school we used to go for like taluk level, then district, and then you have states. You get selected, you go for SGFI nationals, and so on. But now after SGFI there's Khelo India also. So like we
Yeah.
didn't have this back in the day. So this was one side of the sport. Then there was other side, which were like the private competitions, which you go again the same. You win the districts, states, you get selected, you go for the national championships and stuff. So overall, it was like 12 plus years of professional journey, along with education. That is, I pursued science and then engineering. Uh, it was difficult. It was challenging, but it was fun. It was a roller coaster ride. And if I had to tell about what I have learned from sports, I would say there are many things
Yeah.
that sports has taught me. I just cannot pinpoint like these are the 10 points or top 10 things or 15 things. It would be cruel. But one major thing that sport has taught me is how to manage failure in public.
Very true.
At a very young age, when you've been humiliated in public and you don't know what to do with it, and it's not just once, but it's multiple times. And when that happens, you have a completely different perception about life. So I guess I would wrap up with that. Sports has taught me everything, but the major thing is about failures.
Amazing, Meghna. I could relate to the every word which you said, because then I have been a badminton player myself as well. I used to represent my school. I had played on the taluka level as well, but then we had no infrastructure, because then, and as you said, like we have to study as well, and then look after the other parts of that particular sports. So it has also developed me as a person, where I could feel that it has changed my life as well, because then I got more competitive. I used to play with a kind of a attitude which used to be
Mhm.
always like I should be winning that, but then it is a part of the game. Either you win or you lose. So that is how we have to face it, and that was tremendously great. So you are always curious about the human behavior as well. So how do you see to that particular element? Because then knowing about the human behavior and the psychological aspects of a particular person, or the way you are
Mhm.
evolving as a person, takes a lot of toll on yourself as well. Like you have to think a lot of about that particular topic. So what made you to think about those particular topics, and what made you the kind of a person where you feel that you are the mindset mentor for the people right now?
Okay, so my journey of, I would say, manifesting psychology into my life started back in 2020
Okay.
when the pandemic hit and we were all given an opportunity to sit at home and go inwards. I started my journey with meditation. I had a book called The Beginnings, which was been written by Brahma Kumaris. I started reading few chapters. I did not understand the rest of the book, but just maybe a couple of chapters. And I started doing meditation every single day. And what happened after 2 to 3 months of consistent meditation is it sort of brought a very different behavior in me. I started feeling like I was going more inward. I was becoming more aware of myself. That is where I started questioning everything that happened in my life so far, at
Okay.
least in the last 15 years. I was questioning every single thing, like, why did I go to this school? Why did I choose science? Why did I choose engineering? Or why was I being given an opportunity to even be a professional athlete? So when I started observing all of those thoughts and I was accepting the fact that all these opportunities were given to me. I was also same time feeling stuck in life because I was 23 and I didn't know how long COVID would exist.
Yeah.
I didn't know how long I would compete, and I didn't know anything apart from sports. Although I did have an engineering degree, but I was not interested in engineering. I was not interested in like 9 to 5 job. That was very crystal clear right from the day one. No jobs. So I was like, what do I do? Okay, so I started exploring everything. I went into taking courses when it comes to data science, data analysis, everything, and I realized that this is not the thing for me. Then I remember in the month of, I think, October 2020 is where I was feeling anxious. I was having panic attacks. I was
Oh.
depressed. And I felt, now this is the end. Like, what do I do from here? That is where I think after 2 3 days, where there was this initial, just small belief that kicked in me by saying that whatever you have gone through in life is for a reason. So if I have to quit sport, there's something that I have learned. There was a reason why I was a player. There was a reason
Yeah.
why I have learned all of these things. I don't know what it is, but I know it is for a reason. So my interest towards psychology happened because I was stressed, anxious, and depressed. I wanted to understand why I was depressed, why I was anxious, and that's why I pursued various coachings and certifications when it came to psychology. That's where I realized, wow, I'm really good at this. I mean, I really understand human behavior and the empathetic person that I am. I feel I can easily connect to people. So what I really did was I have experience in sports, plus I'm interested in human behavior. I combined all my talents together to then call myself as a mindset mentor by taking various certifications and getting into spirituality and all those modules.
Wow, that is a great mixture of everything that you have learned over the period of time. And yes, I can agree that there are certain circumstances that makes you to learn those kinds of like aspects of our life as well. Because then, unless and until anything doesn't happen to us, we won't be able to take those steps. And then those moments actually count in our life. And I'm really proud that you have faced those situations with quite a toughness and then overcame those particular situations with your liking towards the human behavior as well. Because then you are a kind of person, being a sports person, we always have that, like, I have to get up, I have to rise up and then shine again. So kudos to you
Mm.
for living that particular moment as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, Meghna, I can see that you had a total inner transformation, because then for you it means a lot, and you always try to mm, educate people around that, like how you can develop that particular mindset for the other athletes as well, because then you are into the mentoring thing. So, what is inner transformation for you, and how do you look at that particular word? Because then it is not just about how you transform yourself, but it holds a lot of deeper meaning to that particular inner transformation. So how has been that particular journey of inner transformation?
Well, the inner transformation journey, again, it started for me in 2020. As I said, it started with meditation and many things after that. It was not just the meditation, but, I got into a habit of reading books. I started watching a lot of personal development videos. I was, anyways, keen towards psychology. So I think my life was revolved around positivity. Everywhere I listened, I watched people talking, everything was just positive. It was about attitude, it was about visualization, the words, the thoughts, belief system. All of this was just being like bombarded on me for like 6 to 8 months. And I think 6 to 8 months is quite a long time for your subconscious mind to get reprogrammed.
Yeah.
So when I was constantly into that, I didn't even realized that that initial transformation had already started. I didn't know that. It was only until the external people saw that, she has changed. Her behavior has changed. The way she's responding has changed. So I think the inner transformation really starts, at least for me, it started when I was low in life, when I had lost all hopes in life. But there was one belief that I am born here for a reason. And I don't know what that thing is. I don't know why I'm born, but I need to find out why. When you answer that question, or when you are in the quest towards that question, I think those answers will start coming to you. And that is where the, the initial kick towards inner transformation begins.
Great, because then we all have that particular moments where we feel that now this is the kind of attitude we should be having. This is the kind of a moment that we have to own. Because unless and until we don't know, like as you said, that it already started kicking in subconsciously, and then you made it an attempt that you actively change fortune for yourself. So that is again a great way to look at it. And if we have to tell our audience without any filters, like would you like to share about those setbacks? Would you like to share about what were those moments that caused anxiety or depression in your life?
Yeah, sure. So I started my engineering when I was in 2014. Okay. And I think from 2014 to 2020 have been like the lowest moments in my life. There has not been a single day where I was like 100% happy with myself. And why do I say this is because I got into engineering, I got into electrical engineering, which I was totally, it was not my choice. So it was really bad. It was messed up. I was staying in hostel, the food and then the professors, and then I did not enjoy the subject. Plus I had a lot of health issues. And then I wouldn't say it was one, everything was just the external issue, but it was also my issue that, I got into a wrong company. I had toxic relationships, and everything was just so messed up in those 6 years that my personal life fell apart, my professional life fell apart. Of course, my badminton career also fell apart. I used to barely qualify to the main draw, which is, so not me compared to my previous
Yeah.
performances. So when life hits you hard in all your areas at once, you reach that rock bottom stage where you start questioning every single thing. The mistake that I did was I did not question. I just felt that I am lost. I am done. There was no hope. That is where I decided to end my life. And I remember in 2017, I had a severe injury and I had to withdraw my name from 3 upcoming internationals.
Oh,
So that was the only hope in my life, but I had to withdraw that because of my injury, and that hit me really hard. So that was the day where I felt like, okay, now I'm gonna commit suicide. I remember I still had a plaster on my right ankle. I'm going up there on the terrace, and I'm standing there on the terrace and thinking I'm gonna commit suicide. I stand there on the edge. I look down, I feel nothing. I look up, I feel nothing. But then I just close my eyes for like maybe 5 to 8 seconds. I don't know. But then that moment, there was this inner voice in me that said, be an example. I opened my eyes immediately and I could feel I was scared. I was nervous. I could feel like, what the hell am I doing? So I got down and I sobbed for like hours together after that. And I was just trying to collect myself. So from 2017 to 20, I was still trying to understand myself. I was trying to understand my life. I was just absorbing all the criticism that I was getting in the society until 2020 the pandemic happened and I got an opportunity to just sit with myself and go inwards. So that is where the inner transformation journey started, and I'm so grateful. I mean, I'm sorry for the people who pandemic has hit them really hard,
yeah.
but for me that was the best period of my life because it gave me an opportunity to go inwards.
Amazing, Meghna. And I feel that we are grateful to have you over here, because then it is always like, as you said, like you have to be an example for the people out there, like how you can fight for your life, because then it makes it so special. Because once you realize your potential, we have got a lot of potential, and we just have to be quite stronger, quite into a moment where we can feel that no, this is not the right time to take such kind of a steps, and we have a lot of other things to do in our life. Because then I always feel that what is that moment, or what is that particular quality that you own, and if you are owning something, then you should always be helping the other people out there. And there you are, helping people to create that particular mindset, and taking their game to the next level. So very proud of you that you are just come up with the kind of a strength and then guiding people out there. So Meghna, were there kind of situations or moments where you felt like, no, I'm doing something wrong, during that particular phase where you said that nothing was going into your favor, and then you did try to come up, or you did try to change those circumstances but weren't able to do that? Were there kind of such moments?
I wouldn't say there was any such moments because I was not aware of what I was doing. I was just enjoying my life negatively.
Okay.
I felt it was good, but it was not good. You know, the people that I associated with, the friends that I made, the everything just around me was so messed up that I felt that was right, but it was not right. So because I was not self-aware, I did not have those questions in my mind.
Right, that can happen, because then once you are self-aware, you know your purpose, and then when you know your
Yeah.
purpose, you'll always take actions towards them, and then such situations or such moments won't be there. So now, if someone gets into such kind of moments, like, so how they can turn up into that their inner transformation, like what would be your advice for them?
You mean like if someone is going
Yeah.
through a low phase in
Yeah,
their life?
yeah, because then
Okay.
every person wants to have that inner transformation taking into their life, and how they can have that particular transformation.
Okay. So the way I look at transformation or the inner transformation as per my journey that has been is I look at transformation as there is a foundation first, and then there are like a certain ladder that you need to climb towards the transformation. So the foundation is belief system. Even though your life is fallen apart, you're having a lot of crisis in your life, I agree. I feel bad for you. I pity you, but you are the only one who needs to come out of it stronger. You are the only one who is experiencing the pain, even though your parents are there with you, even though you have siblings, cousins, friends, whatever it is, it's only you who know the pain. That is why I say believe in yourself that whatever pain you're going through is just a test. It is testing you for something big. And more bigger problems, the more you're fucked up in life, the more you're going to get rewarded in life. Unless you are pretending to, get fucked up on purpose, which I don't think most of the people would want to, right?
Yeah.
So it is the belief that I've been fucked up for a reason. There is something that I need to learn over here. And I know this is teaching me something. This is a test period for me. I'm going to overcome this test period. I am strong. Just have that belief that you are strong and this is the test period.
Exactly. Test period doesn't define the entire life structure, is what I feel, because then we have to live a bigger picture of our life. We have a better test to apply or better test to face. So that is how we should be able to live. And the more harder the test gets, the better we perform, is what I feel, because then we get prepared for that particular situations as well. Because we know those were the kind of situations. Now I have to be very well prepared for the next situations, which may be worse as well. So if you're prepared for that, then certainly our life can get changed. So during this particular inner transformation journey, we have to figure it out as well, like where we are into that particular journey. So how we can have that sense of realization that, no, I have reached to this like 20% of my inner transformation, 50%, 70%, and 100%. I don't feel that we'll be having that 100% mark anytime in our life, but then just to satisfy ourselves, we need to ask that particular question. So during that particular phase of life, how do you see to this particular timeline?
Okay. I wouldn't give a timeline or anything as such, but then I'm going to stick with the steps that I was just mentioning. The first, where is your belief system comes. And once you believe, even though there is crisis going on in your life, you believe that, okay, this is a test period. The next step that you're climbing is awareness. You're becoming aware of yourself that, oh shit, my life is really fucked up. And everything around me is also fucked up. So now there's an awareness that, okay, internally I'm fucked up, externally is also fucked up. Now you need to do something about it.
Yeah.
So the first is awareness. That takes us to the next step, which is acceptance. Accepting that, yes, my life is fucked up and everything around me is also messed up is because of me.
Yeah.
I accept it. And once you accept your reality, that takes you to the that takes us to the third step, which is the internal drive. Internal drive, that means I accept, I'm aware of my situation, and I want to change. I want to change because I want to see the best version of me. I want to change because this is not my reality. I want to change because I'm something much, much bigger than what I am today.
Right.
So, this internal drive, or the intrinsic motivation that we call, takes us to the next step, which is building good habits.
Yeah. Much
When you
needed.
have that drive that I want to change, you're going to come up with some sort of habits, whether it's reading books, associating or networking with positive people, listening to positive content, anything. You're going to just build up that habit eventually. And these habits help you build a lifestyle. And this lifestyle takes us to the next step, which is living a high performance life.
Wow.
And this high performance life is what we call as the internal transformation.
Yeah. That is such a beautiful explanation, I would say, because then I was just all ears to whatever you said, Meghna, because I can feel that. Like, even I had such kind of situations or moments where I was low in my life, but then all what I needed was I could understand myself so that I can take better steps. I can be self-aware. I can be knowing my purpose in my life as well, because then it is ultimately we are the ones who are going to take those steps. And if we are not going to apply, if we are not going to show up every day, then nothing is going to matter in this life and no one cares about you. This is the fact. People don't bother about what is your life look like, feels like.
Yeah.
It is all that we
Yeah.
have to change for ourselves. So that is a great thing. Now during this particular like the transition period or the kind of timeline we talked about, we always need a kind of a lifestyle adjustment for that particular thing as well, because then you can't come up each and every day that, no, this is the kind of way I'm used to live my life and I won't be changing that, but still I want inner transformation happening into my life. That won't be happening. So do you recommend any kind of a lifestyle adjustment that you need to or someone needs to do, and you did even apply to your life as well?
I think the biggest adjustment that I did in my life was just pause, reflect. Now, I get it, for the people who are listening to this, it might seem a little creepy because, if you're busy with a lot of things, just taking a pause might not seem, possible. What about weekends? What
Yeah,
about 30 minutes in a day? Just pause and reflect on your life, reflect on your day, reflect on what is really happening. People say like journaling, but then it's not about journaling like, hey, dear me, dear you, and so kind of things. You don't write those bullshit, you really go in there and you reflect on your life. So for all those, all the listeners, I would highly recommend pause. If you cannot pause in life, you're just going to keep going and you will never know. One day you are just at the end of your life and you will look back and be like, shit, I did not get time to reflect on my life. I did not get time for the inner transformation. Why? Because you did not pause. So at least 30 minutes every single day is what I recommend.
definitely that could be a plan, because then it is not just about pausing and then reflecting. It is all about absorbing what you feel and then trying to reflect through your actions. Otherwise it won't be happening. See, we don't have to do anything casually. We just have to see
Mm-hmm.
what kind of a transformative approach we have to follow, what kind of a transformative element we can apply, so that brings in a great transition, is what I feel. And if a person is trying his or her own way, that is totally fine, but then it should be a result oriented, is what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. So Meghna, moving forward, you have been inclusive towards spirituality as well. So how that particular transformation happened into your life? What was uh, the reason that you inclined towards the spirituality, I would say.
Okay. Okay. So, firstly, I'm the sort of person back in the day, I was not really into, so-called soul or understanding before life, after life, and, whatever that sort of thing. I was not the person who will go to temples and any of these sort of things. Like, okay, I believed in God, but that was out of fear, not really like I believe in God. So my journey, as I said, you had
Yeah.
any question?
No, like I just wanted to make a point here. Like people should not confuse religion with spirituality is only the thing I
Yeah.
would wanted to say. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, okay. So my journey, as I mentioned, it started in 2020 when I just picked up that first book called The Beginning by Brahma Kumari and I started doing meditation. And what I experienced after 3 months of meditation is I had a spiritual awakening experience. And that particular day, I don't know what happened within me. I don't know what I experienced, but whatever happened that night might have shifted something in me, has cleansed something in me. But I remember after that day, I was never the same person. And why I say this is because after that day, I was like more inclined towards, understanding myself. I was more inclined towards understanding not just the physical body, but the mental, emotional, the energetic bodies, the auras, the chakras, and there is something beyond us. And I wanted to know this beyond us. Like, what is this beyond us? Where do I come from? Why am I over here? What is my purpose? Right? So all of these questions started to pop up after the awakening, and I think that series of events after that led me to understanding my purpose, my soul mission in life, and directing me towards a path like this is why you are born, this is what you need to do. And you start connecting the dots, and I think the journey started because of me getting into meditation.
Amazing. Like we always have to know what lies ahead in our journey, and through that particular spiritual awakening, you always will be able to figure it out. Like what is the deeper meaning of our own life, and to figure it out, you just have to dwell into that particular situation. And not many people will be having such kind of spiritual awakening. It is a quite a deeper topic to talk about, and for having that spiritual awakening, you always have to take better approaches, because
Yeah.
people always feel curious about like how I can have that spiritual awakening. But then it is not all the time that you get into such moments and feel like now I'm awakened, now I'm able to know myself better. You just have to see what suits your best, and then work accordingly into their life. Yeah. Now, you have played on various levels that we earlier talked about, the international states, nationals as well. So there were might be a situations where you felt like, do you want to play with that particular opponent or not, or something around that, because
Hmm.
it is a part of a game. A player might be better than you, or you will be better than that particular player. So were there any thoughts of like feeling the fear versus going out there and just playing your best games, or like if such kind of situation happens, like how was the kind of mindset you had during those particular times?
Well, going back to the day when I was a junior, I think sub junior or junior athlete, I was quite just go with the flow sort of player. Like just go enjoy there. You have given your 100% during the practice. Now this is your arena. Just go, bash, play, come back, no regrets. So I was that sort of a player, at least up to under 17. I think
Okay.
under 19 and senior is something that has hit me really hard, because that is the moment where you get to know that there's something called as pressure, there's something called as anxiety, there's something called as fear, performance anxiety. You start listening to all of these words and you do
Yep.
research on it, and then you'll be like, oh shit, I do feel that before the competition, because you know what, every other athlete feels that, and if I don't feel it, what the hell am I doing? I'm not an athlete, right? So I think because of knowing too many things, I actually started subconsciously manifesting those things within me. And over a period of time, that led me to a process where I had performance anxiety before every single competition. I used to overthink every single opponent that I used to play. And this has created hindrance in me performing my 100%.
Great, because then I have been myself the victim of like performance anxiety is what I would say,
Mm.
and every time, like even right now with respect to podcast, I would feel that because then it always makes you a better person. You always get a chance to improve yourself, and we all should face that particular situation because then. Unless and until you don't play that particular game, you don't like exercise or something around that particular domain, you won't be able to realize like where you are lacking, where you have to put in improvements, where you can excel, because then our game gets stronger day by day, and we just have to realize that no, take a day as it is and then move forward, because that is how I have learned through my life by playing badminton, because it always starts with love all play. So yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. So Mingna, how has been this conversation with like how are you feeling about this episode?
I'm feeling light, to be honest. Like I've had a long day and I was really looking forward to this because I did not prepare, and we had always thought that let's just go with the flow. And I'm the sort of person where I shifted from preparation to just going with the flow, and I've seen that going with the flow is always the best. So I think the way you conducted it as a host, I highly appreciate you, because you just created that comfort zone for me to just like, okay, just be yourself,
Yep.
just talk, just be yourself. There are no particular questions that we are going to ask. Let's just go with the flow.
Definitely.
So I really like that about this episode.
Yes. Now moving forward, we are not stopping. By the way, audience might be feeling that. Yeah. So as a player, there is always a moment into our life, because then we all have to play that particular game at that particular moment, even while exercising or like preparing for that particular game. So how do you see movement as a, like a physical, emotional, mental thing for our inner transformation? Because then when we try to move our body, when we try to move our body parts, it creates a sense of emotion, it creates a sense of feeling that something is happening within us, and
Mhm.
what kind of inner talk that creates during that particular situation. So what is your outlook towards the movement thing?
Movement in general, like in
Yeah,
sports, or just in
it would
general
be in
movement?
general, like whatever we are doing. See, if we go for a walk, we might be feeling that yes, we are a refreshed person. When we are playing a
Okay.
game, we feel that no, we have to put in more energy. So movement in a way, every way.
Okay, so I'm gonna connect to moment in terms of dance because I'm very much inclined towards
Kya
it.
baat.
Are you into it as well?
No. Ganpati
Okay.
dance I can.
Okay, that's great. So I look at dance as something where my inner child comes out. Okay, and that is where the best version of me is hidden, I feel. So I dance to express myself, to get out those emotions, whether it's the lower emotions like anger, frustration, grief, whatever it is, plus the higher emotions when I'm feeling loved, I'm feeling compassionate, and feeling grateful. All of these things, it's just like music and moving your body. It just gives you a different sort of feeling. It gives you different sort of emotions that comes out. So I would say it is the inner child in me that comes out. It is the emotions in me that come out. It's the true authentic me that comes out when the music is being played, when I'm moving my body, and especially the free flow. You're not just preparing for some sort of dance, it's just the free flow. You can see I'm actually dancing while talking about this. Okay, so yeah, it just brings out the best version of me when I dance. So coming back to your question about movement, it depends upon the way people look at it. So if you're going to look at it as exercise, oh God, I have to do it because my doctor has told me to do it, it's not going to work for you. But if you're going to do some sort of movement which helps you bring out the best version in you, you're just going to enjoy that workout. You're going to enjoy that movement. You're going to look at life as, life is a dance sort of thing. Yeah.
Amazing. We all should be having such kind of activities or the additional things that you should be doing into your life, because then like right now I'm more into cycling. Early morning I go for cycling, and then at times I feel like I'm performing, or like I'm kind of an athlete over there. Like Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar ka scene yaad aa jata hai. Sanju
Exactly.
changed the gear.
Perfect.
So in a way, movement will always transform you. Movement will always help you, and you should be able to find what creates that particular moment, like movement into your life. So to create that particular moment, have some kind of movement, and it could be anything, like, right?
And
Yeah.
I would like to add another point over here is when you said about movement, just like a formula, movement is equal to energy flowing. Let the energy flow in your body. So please take your ass off and go move.
Also, whatever you studied in engineering stays into your mind, is what I feel. Fees not vested.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Meghna, we always have this kind of a dysfunctional thinking into our life. Like, we won't be able to change ourselves, and we won't be able to transform ourselves as well. Because then certain kind of moments, certain kind of situations, we always get stuck into, and we feel that there is no way out. If anyone is trying to help us, we feel that they are a kind of person, or they are kind of people who are just doing their kind of a thing where they don't want to actually change our like they don't want to change us, but then they are just pushing us. So what are your thoughts with respect to dysfunctional thinking?
Dysfunctional thinking is again due to your belief system. You have a certain belief that has been said that I cannot change because of this. I cannot do certain changes because of this, because I believe something is the reason I cannot change.
Yeah.
You need to change your belief system. You need to train your subconscious mind. That's the only thing. You cannot change, you cannot transform, you cannot do anything is your belief system. That is the limiting belief that needs to cut down. It's just your belief.
Perfect, because then we all have to keep this point in a place where that you are not confusing belief system with something about like the low confidence or something. You just have to set your bar high and just believe into yourself is what I will be taking from.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Now coming on to the last part where we'll be having this rapid fire, and then I have a very unique question to ask you. Just
Okay.
simple rapid fire things. So the first question is like, who was the best player you played with, and what was the result about that particular match?
I'm thinking, okay, this is a very okay. The best player I played against. I think it was Sindhu Bharatwaj. I don't remember the year. It was my South Zone selection match in Bangalore. Yeah.
Great. On scale 1 to 10, how good you are with keeping secrets?
7.5.
Okay. What about those 2.5?
Depends upon who are these people around me.
Great. Okay. What's your favorite clothing brand? Yonex.
You're asking about sports or in
It
general?
could be anything.
I would say it's H&M.
Okay, good one. Okay, that was all. And now I have this very unique question to ask you. We are on Glitters of Life podcast, where glitters of life is something that uncovers on us the stories of the people who are the change maker of this particular century, who wants to create a positive impact into people's lives, is what I feel. With through their thoughts, through their whatever they are doing into their life. So how would you define glitters of life for yourself and for the people out there?
Okay, so glitters of life, right? Okay. So when I heard the name for the first time, glitters of life, the vision that I had in my mind was, these beautiful stars in the sky. They're just sparkling. And then I'm just looking up at that sky and I'm like, I am part of that universe. And that universe is part of me. So, what I really mean by this is the glitters, it's the spark in you. The spark is there within you, it's not out there. Each one of us is looking for that inner transformation. But what we are really looking, or what we are really in search of, is that spark. We are in search of that glitter that is there inside of us. So go within yourself, and who knows, one day you might find that spark. You might find that glitter. You may not just change your life, but you might change everyone's life.
That was so special. Thank you for defining that in your own fashion, and people might be able to relate to this particular thing as well. Because then, for each and every person, it means different, but then the feeling is mutual, is what I feel. Yeah. So, Meghna, it has been a great conversation with you. I thoroughly loved this particular conversation. And I would just want you to say a few words about your work that you are doing right now, because then if someone is wanting to reach out to you, how you can help them and in what way they can reach out to you.
Sure. So, as you all know, that I've been a former professional athlete and I've been into psychology as well as energy healing. Today, I help professional athletes as well as non-athletes transform their life. As you know, I'm a mindset mentor and I'm also a healer. So you can reach me out on Instagram, that is AthleteMind95. And you can get connected to me over there and we can just take it on to WhatsApp and see how things work further.
Definitely. The Instagram link would be in the episode description. People might be able to reach out from there as well. And thank you, Meghna, once again for being on this particular show. I loved this entire conversation and I wish you very all the best for your future endeavors. And I feel that you should be able to play again, is what all we can expect for in any way, like whatever circuit you would like to play. But then again, don't stop playing and keep changing lives of people.
Thank you so much, Rohit. It was so great to, just be there and just go with the flow. Thank you so much for making this Sunday such an amazing day. I'm really looking forward for this week. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Stay happy
Bye.
and stay healthy.
I wish you the same.
Thank you.